My name is Dr. Kari Basso, and I'm the director of the Mass Spectrometry Research and Education Center here at University of Florida. It is my pleasure to give you a tour of our facility with both what instrumentation we have and what our capabilities are. So this instrument here is our Thermo Q Orbitrap instrument. It is a high-resolution MSM instrument, and we predominantly use it to do proteomic analysis. So we can take a complex mixture, say from a cell lysate or tissue, and sequence all of the proteins that are in that sample, and we can compare it between disease states and normal or healthy states to see what differences there are. Moving on to over here, we have this instrument here, which is a quadrupole time of flight from Bruker, the Impact 2. This instrument is also a high-resolution MSMS instrument, time of flight, quadrupole time of flight. And we predominantly use this for lipidomics and metabolomics, but again, it produces very nice data for intact protein measurement and other measurements that need high resolution. Its resolution is about 60,000. This instrument here is Agilent time of flight instrument. It doesn't have MSMS capabilities, and its resolution is what we call medium resolution. It's a resolution of about 11 or 12,000. It's still high enough that this is the instrument that we use to do all the accurate mass analysis, predominantly, from the synthetic chemists that have made their product, and they need to validate that their product is actually what they made. We have an LC in front of it in case people want to do LCMS. This instrument is actually available for self-operation after training. So as a student, you can be trained on this instrument and you can run the samples by yourself. And here we have our MALDI mass spectrometer. This also is available for self-operation. So as a student, you can come and be trained on the instrument and operate and run all your samples yourself. What is interesting about this instrument that we have found is that it can be operated remotely. So you can bring us your plate, we can put it in the instrument, and then you can go home and you can run your samples from wherever you want to, whether that be from your living room couch or back in your lab, back in your office. This instrument here is ion trap from Thermo. We predominantly do kind of targeted analysis on this. So for example, we have a researcher that wants to analyze antibiotics in patient samples. And so we can target to just look for these certain antibiotics and do the analysis that way. It also can be used for untargeted. It is a low resolution instrument, unlike the other instruments that are all high resolution. So this one, we're not necessarily dealing with unknowns. We're usually having a target that we're actually looking for that we know. Oh, I just want to pause here also. We do quite a bit of the preliminary sample preparation before mass spec. So we can do things like extract your sample from tissue, whether that be from cells or actual tissue, plant material. We can do all of that for you. We can also train you how to do that so that it is appropriate for mass spec analysis. We can do SDS page. We do quite a bit of the sample prep here for you if you want. And finally, here we have a LCMS Quadrupole instrument. This is a very simple, low-resolution instrument, but it works beautifully. And again, we do this a lot for targeted type of analyses where we know what we're looking for. We just need to validate that it's there, or we're trying to quantitate how much of that particular analyte is in a sample. This has no MSMS capabilities, but there's many projects that this is quite applicable for. And that concludes the tour of the Mass Spec Research and Education Center. I think the value that we bring to the community is that not only do we run samples, but we will train you and you can learn how to use these instruments and do sample preparation. That's where the Education Center comes in. I believe strongly that because we're at an academic institution that we're here to teach students, and we want students invited in the lab and to participate in the analysis of their samples. Thank you.